The Master's Mysteries. Tales of Magical Mastery. Episode 23. Liao Fenghe exchanged blows with the muscular man brought by the puppet master, but because the muscular man was impervious to swords and spears and had an unusually strong body, Liao Fenghe did not gain any advantage after several rounds. Furthermore, the muscular man obviously did not want to give Liao Fenghe time to breathe and think, lunging at him again once he had regained his balance. Liao Fenghe, angered by the brutal death of Tiger Girl, also started to fight back fiercely. Soon, the two men were fighting again, but it was clear that the muscular man was stronger. Liao Fenghe, unable to find the man's weakness, could only dodge passively. After about a dozen rounds, Liao Fenghe had no offensive strategy and was continuously retreating. The situation was becoming more passive, and Old Dao and Xiao Xia, who were watching from behind, were sweating profusely. No good. He will be in danger if this continues. But we can't help him. Does Master still have his treasure in the temple? After the death of the temple master, no one knew. Although anxious, nobody could help. At this moment, Old Dao suddenly had a thought and remembered the treasure of the Iron Ox Temple from those years. Follow me. I know. You know. Many people came to find this treasure when the Taoist temple fell, but no one found it. They all thought that with the death of the temple master, no one could find it anymore. But they didn't know that the temple master had told Old Dao the location of the treasure back then. Stop talking, follow quickly. Seeing Liao Fenghe still struggling with the muscular man, Old Dao turned and ran towards the rear palace with Xiao Xia. Of course, Old Dao was not the only one who realized that Liao Fenghe was struggling. There was also the mouse fairy, Ahu, who had been hiding in the bushes. More than that, Ahu also keenly noticed that the puppet master had set up many ambushes in the woods around the Taoist temple. These are all zombies manipulated by the puppet master, slowly surrounding the Taoist temple. As soon as the puppet master gives an order, they will rush into the Taoist temple, at which point Liao Fenghe and the others will truly be unable to escape even if they had wings. Liao Fenghe was so angry that he only cared about charging and attacking, but not Ahu. He had seen early on that the culprit controlling the muscular man and these zombies was the puppet master, the real person they should be dealing with. So, after weighing the options, Ahu didn't go to the battlefield to help Liao Fenghe. Instead, he rushed towards the puppet master like a flash of lightning. Speaking of the puppet master, he was currently focusing on controlling the muscular man in combat, when he suddenly felt a gust of wind by his ear and a shadow shooting from the corner of his eye. He hurriedly turned his head to look. But by the time he turned his head and saw that it was a big rat with red hair, it was too late. Ahu pounced on his face and bit him fiercely. Ah, where did this beast come from? Looking for death. Ahu was agile and his teeth were sharp. With a shake of his small head, a chunk of flesh was torn off, causing great pain to the puppet master, who, in anger, extended his left arm to grab Ahu. Ahu was very clever. He knew that the old man's left arm was not ordinary. With a quick move, he dodged into the bushes. Indeed, Ahu's sudden attack on the puppet master really helped Liao Fenghe. The muscular man, who had been extremely fierce just now, suddenly staggered and almost fell to the ground. Seeing this, Liao Fenghe was shocked and wanted to slap himself. His master was right. He was too young and lacked experience. He had lost his rationality when he got angry, and he had overlooked what even Ahu had noticed. The muscular man's daze only lasted for a moment. He steadied himself and lunged again. However, Liao Fenghe had already sobered up a lot from his rage and moved first to block the man's attack. Next, using the opponent's momentum against him, he advanced with a kick that squarely hit the sturdy man's head. Liao Fenghe figured that these controlled puppets were mostly controlled via their heads. The only difference was the method used, which is precisely what he needed to figure out. Liao Fenghi's intense attacks on the sturdy man's head indeed caused him to briefly lose his balance. Seizing the opportunity, Liao Fenghi unleashed a rapid succession of blows to his opponent's head. But the puppet was extremely strong, quickly regaining its footing after being knocked down and charging at Liao Fenghi again. However, having figured out a strategy, Liao Fenghi didn't directly confront the opponent as before. Instead, he quickly jumped behind him, and in midair, he violently grabbed the iron helmet fastened on the sturdy man's head. With the momentum of his leap, he pulled with all his might, forcefully yanking the helmet off the sturdy man's head. Upon landing, Liao Fenghi clearly saw that in the back of the sturdy man's head, a hollow silver ball was embedded within the flesh. Inside the ball, there seemed to be a soul, entrapped and glowing. This, he concluded, must be the key to controlling the sturdy man. Upon the removal of the helmet, the silver ball was exposed to the open air. The puppet let out a series of strange screams. Liao Fenghi understood, probably due to the lack of the helmet's cover, the evil spirit in the silver ball was attempting to break free. But for now, the sturdy man was still under the control of the puppeteer. And once again, he furiously lunged forward. And this time, his attack was noticeably more vicious than before, pushing Liao Fenghi into a continuous retreat. Liao Fenghi realized that to defeat this brute, he would need to target the evil spirit in the silver ball in his head. So whenever there was an opportunity, he would aim for the sturdy man's head. However, easier said than done. The sturdy man was fierce in his attacks and protected his head well, leaving Liao Fenghi little opportunity to strike. Becoming anxious, Liao Fenghi also resorted to close combat. But the sturdy man was robust and skilled in close quarters, landing several hits on Liao Fenghi and putting him in an increasingly difficult situation. After Liao Fenghi was knocked to the ground, the sturdy man quickly charged at him again, seemingly about to land a devastating blow. However, Liao Fenghi, who had trained with his master for 10 years, was not easy to defeat. Despite a lack of actual combat experience, he responded swiftly, rolling on the spot to narrowly avoid the attack. Taking advantage of the roll, he steadied himself, quickly stood up, and spotted an opening. He used the force from his legs to leap over the sturdy man's head. Then, with all his strength, he ferociously kicked the back of the sturdy man's head. A crack sound was heard, and the silver ball embedded in the back of the man's head shattered. Following this, wisps of white smoke drifted out from the broken ball. General Iron. With just this one hit, the red light in the sturdy man's eyes extinguished instantly, and his body fell to the ground with a thud. Simultaneously, the puppet master cried out in shock. Liao Fenghi realized that the sturdy man had long been a corpse, refined into an indestructible bronze zombie, controlled by the evil spirit embedded in his brain. Now, with the evil spirit dissipated, the sturdy man was thoroughly dead. "Brat, how dare you kill General Iron? I'll kill you to avenge him." At this moment, the puppet master screamed in grief. Over the years, he had controlled the sturdy man to commit numerous atrocities. Moreover, crafting a bronze zombie puppet was not easy. This had been the most successful of his countless failures. "Why don't you pay for their lives? Old man, how many people have you killed over the years?" Seeing the puppet master red with rage, Liao Fenghi replied coldly, "Kid, you have a sharp tongue. I will let you enjoy it thoroughly." The old man ominously took out a dozen small dolls from his pocket, held them in his hand, and Liao Fenghi immediately felt a dangerous aura approaching. Thinking of what Xiao Xia had mentioned before, he guessed that this old man had planted many zombies in the forest, and at this moment, they were all charging out of the woods under his control. But just as the old man was about to chant his spells with the dolls in his hand, a small black shadow suddenly darted out from the diagonal, aiming straight for his right hand holding the dolls. This was, of course, Ahu, who had been waiting for an opportunity in the grass. He knew it would be dangerous if those zombies came out. At this unexpected moment, he bit the old man's hand, causing him to loosen his grip, and all the dolls fell to the ground. "Beast, you're looking for death." Ahu struck and didn't linger. He turned around and ran off in the distance. But to his surprise, the old man, furious and frustrated, had already launched a counterattack. His left hand suddenly stretched out, his palm becoming incredibly large, covering his face as he reached for Ahu. This weird large hand moved quickly, and Ahu was caught right on the spot. Seeing that if the monstrous claw applied a little more force, Ahu would be crushed, Liao Fengyi rushed up, simultaneously drawing his short knife from his waist. With a swift move, Liao Fengyi's short knife quickly swept across the wrist of the monstrous claw. In an instant, the palm was neatly cut off, and Ahu managed to break free. For some reason, after the hand fell to the ground, it began to emit plumes of white smoke. In a short while, it turned into a piece of black charcoal. A breeze blew over, and it disappeared without a trace. "Kid, you have some skills, but they're useless to me." After his arm was chopped off, the old man obviously showed a moment of surprise, but then he chuckled sinisterly. "You underestimate me." As the old man's sinister laughter fell, many worms began to emerge from the stump of his left hand, writhing and squirming in the air. These worms grew bigger and longer, entwining each other to form a large meatball, which was several times larger than the hand that was just cut off. This made Liao Fengyi's heart begin to race. The sinister left arm of the puppet master in front of him was giving him a bad premonition.